Hello everybody and welcome! You probably heard the news that SpaceX as well as NASA have kind of pushed their moon missions ahead of schedule. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to show those two systems in action, namely the NASA SLS, as you can see here, and the SpaceX Falcon Heavy. NASA has of course worked for many years on this system, and the good thing about this is it's basically all, well, known components. The RS-25 engines are from the Space Shuttle, so are the solid rocket boosters, and the big tank is also from kind of the same components materials that were used for the Space Shuttle. We're already on our second stage, which will be powered by 4 RL-10 engines, which are also already in use. This is the Orion capsule on top of a service module that will be produced by Europeans, which I might add proudly. And yeah, the plan is to get astronauts in the vicinity of the moon during something around 2018-2020, if I remember the news articles correctly. I'm going a step further here. I'm going to make them orbit the moon. So we have our orbital insertion and we have a beautiful view of Kerbal. Okay, after we have performed our orbits, we go back to our home planet of Kerbal. So the entire SLS part of this video was filmed in one take. It was really easy to do, simple components, easy to use, the same as the SLS coincidentally. The main reason they designed it as they did is because they know all of the components involved, so they know they are reliable, and so they're very confident that they will be able to launch soon-ish. Okay, and here I forgot to put the craft in retrograde and everything exploded except the things that shouldn't explode, so yeah, I'm safe, luckily. And of course the heat shield is preventing the craft from disintegrating, just checking what we lost, nothing I can't handle. And of course then it's time to descend down and bring the astronauts safely back to the planet. Of course, the main difference between the proposed SpaceX moon mission and the NASA mission, of course, is that SpaceX will bring basically 2 tourists to the moon. Which, in my opinion, is... I don't know what to think about that, to be honest. So some rich guys can buy a trip to the moon. Yeah, great. Science, anybody? Okay, parachutes working, crew is safe on Kerbal. So now to the SpaceX part, and this thing is a bit more complicated. Basically the Falcon Heavy rocket that will push the Dragon capsule into space is made of 3 Falcon 9 main boosters. So I didn't bother with the 9 Merlin engines because I really like those vectors. Okay, so the thing about SpaceX, of course, is the reusability of their boosters. So I tried to, well, at least with one of the boosters, to get it back home safely. SpaceX has 2 versions of what they do. Either they land it back at base or they land it at a drone ship somewhere out in the ocean. I'm trying to do the landing at base thing here with the first booster. And actually the first attempt was not that bad, to be honest. Well, we missed the land, but we're close to the space center, so it's not that bad. Unfortunately, I miscalculated my burns and I came in a bit too hot. But after a few tries, it went, well, I might say quite well. I almost hit one of the buildings, so yeah, this thing can be recovered quite easily by the Kerbal Space Program. The typees. Okay, Main stage is still on the way to orbit, or rather into direct lunar in this case injection. So we're dropping our second stage. Well, we're dropping the booster, we're firing a second stage. But once again, I'm going to try to land the booster. Returning to base is out of the question. I don't have the Delta V required for that. But I can land on, well, not really a drone ship, but some land on the way between the two oceans. Okay, there we go. I just did this once. I did not bother to really land it correctly. I didn't have the time, to be honest. Okay, so there we go, we're going to land. And yeah, as I mentioned before, the SLS thing was filmed in just one take. And this here was quick saving, quick reloading, 5 times trying to land that booster back at base, and so on. So you can already see that SpaceX technology is a bit more complex, a bit more complicated than what the NASA system is trying to achieve. NASA is saying that they will be able to launch more than 100 tons into a lower Earth orbit with the SLS, which is quite impressive. But the Falcon Heavy will be able, I think, to launch 50 tons or something. I have to look it up. I'm really not sure about that. Okay, I had to fire the Dragon's engines because since I didn't do just a moon flyby, as probably the SpaceX mission will be, but did an orbit, I did not have enough Delta V for a returning directly, but it's okay. The capsule should have enough Delta V to land. I'm a bit worried about the thrust to weight ratio. It could be higher. I also didn't put any air brakes or parachutes on that. The real Dragon, coincidentally, is capable of also using parachutes, so it's not only powered landing thingy. But yeah, this was not so good, so I tried another version, this time with air brakes and also with RCS, which I forgot in the previous version. So this thing is descending down and it looks quite okay. Honestly, you may have already guessed from how I am commentating on this video that I actually prefer the SLS version of this mission, only for reasons of gaming practicality, of course. If you factor in real-world concerns like reusability, costs and so on, then I wouldn't be so sure about that, but there we go, we landed our Dragon on, well, some grass somewhere. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please like, share and subscribe, and as always, thanks for watching. Goodbye.